Get 4 lines of the Ultimate Unlimited for $25 per month with the 5th line free. It's the best price for unlimited.
Good morning, America. Breaking news, never again. Thousands of students all across America staging a walkout to protest gun violence, demanding change. Remembering the victims of the Parkland massacre, sending a message to Washington right now.
Also breaking news, overnight Democrat Connor Lamb declaring a huge upset victory in that Pennsylvania election, seen as a referendum on President Trump.
Took a little longer than we thought, but we did it.
Republicans saying not so fast, what this race means for the midterm elections, plus new details on that White House shakeup.
How does this happen? Outrage growing over a nightmare flight. A family saying they were told to put their dog in the overhead bin. The trip ending in tragedy.
He's a member of our family.
The investigation this morning.
And celebrating one of the greatest minds of our time. Stephen Hawking passed away overnight, tributes pouring in for the man whose quest to solve the theory of everything changed the way we think about the universe.
Live in Times Square, this is GMA with Robin Roberts, George Stephanopoulos, and Michael Strahan.
And good morning, America. We have a lot to cover this Wednesday. The remarkable legacy of Stephen Hawking and that stunning election in Pennsylvania.
That is going to be a big one, and all eyes in the White House on Pennsylvania this morning.
That's right, and looking ahead to the midterms, we're going to begin with those young people demanding to be heard. American students across the country, around the world, walking out of their schools this morning to protest gun violence.
And it is hard to believe that it is exactly 1 month after that massacre at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School. That shooting, of course, has sparked a nationwide call to action. Organizers say more than 2,000 walkouts are planned. Today, thousands of students and teachers will leave their classroom for 17 minutes to remember those 17 victims killed last month.
All banding together, and at the Capitol in D.C., there's a makeshift memorial. 7,000 pairs of shoes, which represent each child killed by gun violence since the 2012 Sandy Hook massacre. We're going to go to ABC's Victor Okendo, who's going to start us off in Parkland, Florida this morning. Good morning, Victor.
Good morning, Michael. The students here have been outspoken since the morning after the shooting, demanding change, and they really haven't slowed down. In a matter of hours, we will see more calls for gun control and a huge show of support as students walk out of their classrooms at 10 a.m.
Scenes like this one in Parkland, Florida have become all too common. That's why this morning, students across the United States have decided to take matters into their own hands, staging a massive school walkout to honor those killed in school shootings and demand government action on guns.
I've found ideal places to hide. I've prepared last texts to loved ones. And I don't think that that's any way to go about the school day.
The movement, a very personal mission for Illinois high school senior Jacob Barron, originally from Newtown, Connecticut. 2 of his friends lost siblings after the 2012 Sandy Hook massacre. At one Pennsylvania high school, students gathered 232 backpacks to mark each school shooting death since Columbine. Each bag represents a life lost. The bags, grouped by individual school, will be displayed in the football field. At Case Elementary School in Akron, kids as young as 3rd grade deciding they too will take a stand.
I am participating in the walkout to honor the 17 that have passed away.
In Philippi, West Virginia, where many families own firearms, students rallying not against guns, but gun violence.
It doesn't matter whether you're Republican, Democrat, Independent. This can happen to you.
Alana Rains says her family owns 6 guns, but she's still walking out.
We need more than just prayers for the victims and tweets about it. We need Congress to make a change.
It will be another emotional morning here at Stoneman Douglas. The students are expected to walk out and gather on the football field. That's a spot that so many ran to as the shooting unfolded. Michael?
All right, thank you so much, Victor. And moments ago, I spoke with Kelsey Friend, who's a survivor of the Parkland shooting, who says her teacher, Scott Beagle, saved her life before losing his own. How is it to go back to school? How has that been for you and the rest of the students?
For me, it's been really hard because of noises and screams and like kids laughing sometimes even scares me. For others, I can't imagine what they're going through, but I'm pretty sure it must be really hard for them too.
And today you're having a walkout today. And what does today's walkout, what does it mean to you?
For me, it just means getting closer to closure, especially because I lost two people that mean a lot to me. So just going out there and standing out there for 17 minutes for my fallen classmates, my family who died, is going to bring me a little closer to closure, I hope.
And also, this walkout today, you mentioned who you lost classmates, you lost teachers. What do you hope happens from this walkout today? What do you hope happens in this country so that kids can go to school and feel safe?
I hope that we get more school resource officers. That's what we really need, especially in some schools that don't have any. And I'm hoping that this walkout gets us more laws to be passed to help us students, because we are the future of our nation.
Kelsey, thank you so much, and have a great day, really. And what you all are doing, continue to do it. And we're supporting you, and we're behind you. And we just really have our hearts and prayers are still with you all and your families.
Thank you.
But we hope they can feel that support from across the country.
Yeah, it's going to be an incredible sight to see all these students coming together for something that means so much to everyone, and coming together with each other and representing this whole cause that they're behind.
Really strong kids, pretty
Sure
amazing.
is. Yeah. A lot of other breaking news, including that special election in Pennsylvania, blow to President Trump. Right now, the race too close to officially call, but Democrat Conor Lamb has already declared victory in a district that the president won by 20 points. Our chief national correspondent, Tom Yamas, tracking the results all through the night. He joins us from Pittsburgh with the latest. Good morning, Tom.
And just up to a few minutes ago, George, good morning. This is where we stand right now. The Democrat Conor Lamb has a slight lead over the Republican Rick Saccone, but as you mentioned, this race is still too close to project. There are still two outstanding counties with absentee ballots. Saccone needed to win a big percentage of those ballots, and we've just learned moments ago that Conor Lamb has come out on top in one of those counties.
This morning, a nail-biter in Pennsylvania. Less than 1,000 votes separating Democrat Conor Lamb and Republican Rick Saccone in this special election. Regardless, overnight, Lamb declaring victory.
It took a little longer than we thought, but we did it.
The race too close to project in a district President Trump won by nearly 20 points. With ballots still outstanding, I asked him why he was convinced he was the winner.
Conor, congratulations. Are you confident you won tonight? Yeah. What do you want to say to all your supporters?
The political thriller playing out overnight on cable news.
Real nail-biter in this special election.
This really is kind of a tale of two districts.
This is a race that is just going to come down to the very last precinct.
Throughout most of the night, Lamb was leading, but by a small margin. Saccone refusing to give up.
Don't give up, and we'll keep it up. We're going to win it!
Saccone aligned himself to President Trump, while Republican groups and GOP PACs poured in more than $10 million to back him.
This guy should win easily, and he's going to win easily.
The big highlight for Democrats, Lamb outperformed Hillary Clinton in Republican, Democratic, large and small precincts in the district. I asked him about his sudden rise.
Do you think this is because people really like you, or do you think they're really upset with the president?
Hopefully it's because they like me and they believe what I've told them, which is that I'm going to work really hard for every single one of them, no matter what party they are, no matter who they voted for last time.
So with such a close race, what about a recount? So far, no side has mentioned that. We do know that Rick Saccone is going to meet with his team this morning to figure out his options. But an official winner will not be declared, at least for a couple of days or even weeks. But again, very positive news for Conor Lamb overnight, George.
Yeah, this was a big Trump district right there. Tom Yamas, thanks very much.
Big implications for the midterms and the White House. And the White House, of course, is closely watching that race in Pennsylvania. But the president, he's in California this morning pushing for that border wall, while back in Washington, more fallout over his Twitter firing of Secretary of State Rex Tillerson. The president's ally, CIA Director Mike Pompeo, picked to replace Tillerson. Our chief White House correspondent John Carl has more. John, you're hearing there could be more shakeups to come.
It sure looks that way, Cecilia. Rex Tillerson is out, but the president is hinting he is not done shaking up his cabinet.
Thousands of miles from Washington, Donald Trump is on his first trip to California as president, checking out prototypes of the border wall he so badly wants to build and rallying the troops.
Relax, be at ease, and let's have a good time for a couple of minutes, okay?
Back in Washington, more bloodletting. Shortly after telling the world via Twitter that Rex Tillerson is out as Secretary of State, the president hinted this might not be the end of the shakeup.
I'm really at a point where we're getting very close to having the cabinet and other things that I want.
The Trump administration is already smashing records with a turnover rate so far of 35%. In the last few weeks, he's lost some of his most senior and trusted aides. Tillerson, who rushed back early from Africa after Chief of Staff John Kelly told him his job was on the line, appeared shaken by the news. He didn't get a call from the president until hours after his firing was announced on Twitter.
What is most important is to ensure an orderly and smooth transition.
Tillerson's spokesman was fired too, moments after putting out a statement saying Tillerson had wanted to stay on the job and was, quote, unaware of why he was being fired. And at the White House, another surprise departure. Trump's personal aide and body man, John McEntee, somebody at the president's side virtually every day, was abruptly escorted off the White House grounds Monday, not even allowed to pack up his desk or get his jacket. Sources tell ABC News serious issues were found in his security clearance background check.
And while McEntee is out of the White House, he is still very much in the Trump orbit. The morning after the Secret Service escorted him off the White House grounds, the president's re-election campaign put out a notice saying that he had been hired as an advisor for campaign operations for the president's re-election campaign. As for all the chaos, I spoke to a close friend of the president who told me it's not that the president is losing control, it's that he has taken control. He is realizing that he has the power to do whatever he wants to do, regardless of whatever advice he has offered. This friend of the president called that troubling. Cecilia?
Another busy day at the White House, my friend. Thank you, John Carl. And of course, that pick of Pompeo, a real sign that the president wants his America First strategy around him in that cabinet. Let's bring in our chief global affairs correspondent, Martha Raddatz, with more on this. Martha, how much do you expect Pompeo to be different in the State Department than Rex Tillerson was?
Well, very different, because Pompeo and Trump are much more in tune. Donald Trump said that yesterday. So with Mike Pompeo, I think there's an expectation that the State Department will be back in the good graces of the president. It was really quite demoralized under Rex Tillerson because they knew the president didn't much like him. And as we move to those talks with North Korea, you have Pompeo, who has been very tough on Kim Jong-un, as opposed to Tillerson, who was always, understandably, as a diplomat, talking about negotiations. So Pompeo adds that additional pressure to those possible talks, which could be a good thing.
Meantime, Martha, Gina Haspel would be the first woman to lead the CIA, well-liked inside the building, but she could have some tough hearings on Capitol Hill.
Yeah, Gina Haspel was in charge of that black site in Thailand where extensive waterboarding took place, which simulates drowning. Supporters will say that has already been investigated and it was legal. Critics will want to know why she went along with it. George?
Okay, Martha, thanks. Let's bring in our analyst, Chris Christie, former governor of New Jersey, longtime Trump confidant. And Chris, as I bring you in, we look at what happened with tariffs. We look at what happened with North Korea. We look at what happened with Rex Tillerson. I'm reminded of this moment back in the convention.
Nobody knows the system better than me. Which is why I alone can fix it.
So we're seeing that philosophy in action right now. Is there a danger there?
Well, of course there is. But, you know, what I think the president is realizing is after 15 months in office, he's more comfortable with being president. Remember, this is a guy who never held elected office before the presidency. And I think he's now been there 15 months. I think he has a feeling that he's more comfortable. He understands how things work a little bit better. And he's taken charge. I mean, there's no other way to interpret what's been happening over the last few days.
But is there anyone left? It seems to be that he's pushing away anyone who takes him on.
Well, I don't know if that's really true, because I've seen other people that are still there, like Kellyanne Conway and others, who will look at him and tell him when she thinks he's wrong. But I think that the problem with Secretary Tillerson was they just fundamentally disagreed. Now, you know, you could talk about the way it was done and whether that was good, and I don't think it was. But in the end, if you fundamentally disagree with your Secretary of State, there's one boss.
Especially on the Iran nuclear deal.
The Iran nuclear deal, North Korea talks, and how that was going to be rolled out and play out. You know, there's a number of things that I understand they disagreed on fundamentally. And that can only last for so long. You have this feeling out period where you see maybe he'll change a little, maybe you'll change a little. But then, if you realize you can't do it, then you got to move on to somebody who agrees with your view of the world. Now we're going to see how that works.
But is this about personality, or is there a bigger strategy here that he's trying to get to?
No, Celia, every time someone thinks there's a bigger strategy, there isn't. There just isn't. I mean, the bottom line is that the president is a very direct person in this way. And my experience with him over all these years has been when he decides that you're no longer compatible, whether that's personal, political, philosophical, or a combination of the three, then, you're on the road out.
But why can't he pick up the phone and tell them himself?
He fired him by tweet.
Yeah, well, listen, I don't think you should ever fire anybody by Twitter, all right? So, I had to fire people when I was governor in my 8 years, and I think always the best way to do it is to bring someone into the office, thank them for their service, look them in the eye, and tell them why you were letting them go. And I think that would always be the best way to do it.
Got to get in on this special election in Pennsylvania. This is a blow to Republicans. Expect more resignations, retirements now in the House?
Well, I don't know about that because I think, George, it is a blow. You shouldn't lose a district like this. I also think we didn't have the greatest candidate in the world. That didn't help. And so from a Republican perspective, I think it was a bad night. Now, it's also a special election with an extraordinarily low turnout, with very motivated Democratic voters who are anti the president, right? So, I don't think we should go too far in saying this is an indicator of what's going to happen in November. But if you're a Republican today, it's not like you're saying, hey, great, we only lost the district. We'd won by 20 points in 16, by a few hundred votes. That's not a good sign. But I also don't want us to overreact because there's some special circumstances here.
Chris Christie, thanks very much.
Thank you.
Governor, good to see you this morning. We do want to turn now to that celebration of Stephen Hawking's life, the 76-year-old physicist whose incredible discoveries changed the way we think about the entire universe. He passed away overnight. His story of resilience, passion, and overcoming the odds is inspiring so many.
Stephen Hawking will be remembered as a genius who didn't let his disease stop him from achieving his dreams.
I have had ALS for practically all my adult life. Yet it has not prevented me from having a very attractive family and being successful in my work.
His best-selling book, A Brief History of Time, tackles black holes and the Big Bang Theory, subjects he spent his life exploring.
We can be sure of the past, and we can predict the future.
In his early 20s, already a physics phenom at Cambridge University, Hawking was first diagnosed with ALS, also known as Lou Gehrig's disease. Defying the odds, living for 5 decades with that fatal disease, which confined him to a wheelchair. But Hawking said that physics can only take one beyond one's physical limitations.
Physics may explain the mysteries of the universe, but it is cold and unemotional, so I try not to let it affect my family life.
I study the marriage of space and time.
His life story portrayed in the 2014 film The Theory of Everything.
I'm okay.
Asked many times if his disability held him back, Hawking simply said it gave him more time to think.
Yeah, he said his goal was simple, a complete understanding of the universe. So to the weather.
That's all.
A brilliant mind indeed, though. And Rob, what's the latest on the nor'easter?
A record-breaking snowfall for Boston, the snowiest March day on record there, 14.5 inches, but they do a good job of getting it out of there. More snow squalls and cold weather across the Northeast today. Spring-like cities now, thank goodness. Brought to you by Gain Botanicals.
Mother Nature. Nothing smells greater than the great outdoors. Especially when you're in accounts receivable. Only one detergent can give you a sniff like this. Try Gain Botanicals Laundry Detergent, one of the many irresistible scents from Gain.
Another cold and blustery day that will feel, more like winter instead of mid-March here. In fact, this pattern looks as though it is going to continue. Today, your temperature stepping out the door in the lower 30s. We'll get into the lower 40s later today, but we could have some occasional gusts at 30 to maybe even briefly just over 35 miles per hour. A little less wind for tomorrow, the high 51. Your high on Friday, just 44, but with wind chills back in the lower 30s. And a break comes this weekend.
Sad and shocking mistake by United Airlines when we come back.
Seresto, Seresto, Seresto.